wants them to boo him because he knows they might, and he'll flip it, and he'll not only beat the guy on the other side, he'll beat everybody booing him also. Now, that's at a whole nother level, but it's the same thing in the game of life. You know what I'm saying? Now, you're going to just back to perspective and understanding this is part of the deal. And this is what nobody does in the game of life, okay? Nobody, you know? And you got, like I said, appreciate what you have, not what you don't have. Problems are going to happen. You should start responding to every problem, respond to it, but in a positive way. Some people yell, some people scream, some people are still mad about things that happened 20 years ago. It's crazy. You know, they can't let it go. Time heals all, but with some, they like to be like that. So you get what you deserve, I guess.
You know, you mentioned something about when you're working with juniors, you're helping them operate and play like adults. So you're obviously giving them stretch goals and you're putting them in like these slightly stretched environments where they're pushing themselves to perform slightly, you know, in a more aggressive way or a more difficult way than they normally would. And you keep like upskilling them that way. How do you find that balance between stretching somebody so that they upskill versus basically completely demoralizing them because they can't compete at the level that you're asking them to compete at?
Awesome question. Anybody listening to this, there is a fine line between courage and stupidity. Okay. Sometimes you might need both. You got to know who you're dealing with. And I deal with all kinds of levels. Okay. Some of the best kids in the world. Okay. And I do have a couple that are the best in the world. And it's all about positive errors, pulling the trigger. You know what I mean? Getting out of your comfort zone to go in the end zone. But then again, okay, knowing when to reset. I'm always about the future because you got to understand a few more inches, a few more pounds, they would have got there and been set. You know, people miss because they're immature or they miss because they're little. They got little arms or legs, you know. I had a girl yesterday, she came to the net like 16 times. You know, she's 12 years old. She actually just beat a girl who's 150 in the world on the WTA tour 5 years ago. She's 12 years old. She's in the final of the Battle of Boca right now, and I should be watching, but I told her I had a podcast. So at the end of the day, she still had success, and she came to the net 16 times. Because when someday she plays Sabalenka, she's going to, when she's up there, I want her comfortable. You got to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. Now, if it's a level where they can't keep the ball in play, okay, you got to then teach them differently to slow down, keep it in play. But listen, it's a quality of the consistency at the highest level. Number 1,000 could rally back and forth and look just like Djokovic or like Iga. But when they play, it's like, see you later, alligator. You know, we know who would win those matches. So it's not like that. But you got to be, that's the art of coaching. You know, there's a fine line between courage and stupidity. But listen, when you get kids to do stuff and then they prove it to themselves, not out of the basket, that's vanilla or hand feeding, or in a practice match, that's the next step. But when they can do it in combat, in competition, then they get the big C. And when people get confidence, you know as well as I do, they can do anything, you know, because they always do better in practice. You know, they do better when you hand feed or you scale it down.